be it sports, aerospace, politics or the corporate world. Indian women have proved their mettle and made a mark in every possible field. But even though more and more women are breaking barriers and stereotypes in the country, India has a gloomy picture to portray when it comes to the women-men ratio at the workplace.
We stand pretty poorly, in the globe on gender diversity. At a senior management level, it goes even lower, so it's like 9% or so, whereas at the early career level, it's 26% or something. I think as a country, we are 126 out of 132, or somewhere around that in the gender diversity. A lot of times, while in silos we talk of gender diversity, in the workplace and affirmative action, one, people don't know as much about it, and secondly, we could be doing far more than what we are doing about it.
According to a report published by Oxfam, India ranks the second lowest in the group of 20 or G20 economies when it comes to women's participation in the workforce. When it comes to women's economic participation, India ranks 124th out of 136 nations.
Diversity is probably the biggest opportunity and the biggest challenge that the world is facing right now. You have 50% of the humanity not represented in the workforce. What that means is that if you look at any parameter, there's enough research, whether you look at Catalyst, Harvard, any of them, they've proven that people, wherever we have opportunities, where you have women more in the workforce, whether it's the board of directors, whether it's the middle management or the senior management, the return on equity, the return on investments, or the stock performance, the business performance, all of them have a direct correlation there. In fact, there was an interesting quote I read somewhere which said that if you have probably even one women member in a team, the performance of that team is better than an all-male team, right? And it's interesting because it's not that the capability is different, but the diversity perspective brings a very different perspective over there.
Gender disparity is a glaring issue prevalent in almost all professions. Take, for example, the IT industry, which has put India on the world map. It has made India the most preferred destination for outsourcing. Though a major contributor to the country's GDP, this booming sector remains a male-dominated one.
If you have probably 50% of the population not represented in the workforce, it will not reflect in the work that we do. Whether it's creating the idea, to designing the idea, to even executing the idea. We need people to be there who can represent that. And if you don't have 50% of the population in the room, we're not solving the client's problems.
The women, in this community are, in the tech community in specific, but in general are rising and taking up larger challenges. And as we have more role models and more role models which are, where you can relate to, I think this would pick up. So there is, while we are at a poor position, I think there is a lot of work which is going on, and we want to play our part in ensuring that this 50% of our demographic is actually converting into 50% of talent being available.
Contest is actually encouraging talent. There are women who are coding and developing better than or equal to men. Let's bring that out into the open.
But paving the way for change is TechGig, a platform created exclusively for IT professionals to innovate and excel.
A coder is really, or a tech guy is as good as he codes. So that's where we decided that we wanted to benchmark the entire talent in the workspace and segregate them by how good they were in their coding for each skill. That was the initial thought behind TechGig, and post that we've been doing lots of contests and competitions and webinars, and our objective is that we would be able to identify the best talent for each company, for each skill.
The company celebrated professional working women in India Inc. by giving them an opportunity to shine. The TechGig Geek Goddess contest helped women showcase their talent in the field of technology.
We thought it was important that we set up a platform where we can encourage and inspire the women in the IT system, and also on the other hand, on the same hand, get the companies to promote themselves, what they're doing around gender diversity, how they're creating more supportive environments within the company, and why women are important for them to build in their system.
From tech webinars to empowerment sessions and code contests, women coders from different parts of the country engaged in a 14-day program which culminated on International Women's Day. With over 15,000 registrations, the TechGig Geek Goddess contest was a unique platform to celebrate women in technology.
It was actually a whole platform where women could discover and figure out what was there happening in the IT industry. So there were lots of webinars which were given by women leaders, and these were specific on specific technology, so it wasn't just around gender diversity. Then there were empower sessions which were taken by leaders in the industry, where they talked of gender diversity and how their companies are progressing, and doing things for women. There were mentorship sessions, there were Ask Me Anything sessions. So this was around the information dissemination of what is happening in the industry.
The Code Divas finally went through 3 rounds of the TechGig contest to be crowned Geek Goddesses. Janani Anbarasan from Cisco was declared the winner of the Geek Goddess contest.
I did not anticipate this, since there are lots of women across the country participating in this. I did the best of my efforts to win this, and I felt very happy about winning this contest and to be recognized as, the top women coder in the country.
The runner-up was Rijuta N, also from Cisco.
It's almost surreal. You don't get to believe that you actually won a national level contest. But at the end of the day, it's really good. You get so much appreciation from the entire company. It's really nice.
Hailing it as a platform to highlight the contribution of women in technology, these Geek Goddesses are left even more inspired to reach greater heights. The 3rd position in the Geek Goddess contest was claimed by Rashmi Kejriwal from Sapient Consulting.
TechGig is a phenomenal platform to bring women coders, the hidden talent, because most of the time they are either very much engaged. So this was a very great platform. Actually, the pattern in which they presented the questions, that was also very great, and the way they promoted this, the women coders to come in front. So that I really appreciate this platform.
Priyanka Naik from CDK Global secured the 4th position in this unique contest.
According to me, there are very few women going towards coding competitions, and also this initiative is very good in direction women empowerment.
It's time for tech companies around the country to celebrate their women employees and acknowledge their achievements. And with platforms like the TechGig Geek Goddess, women in technology are left inspired and motivated to achieve even more milestones.
Next year and going forward, I think this would grow, leaps and bounds in size. But the real part of, the outcome of this would be that if we see our women working greater in the IT space and environment for them being more supportive for them to work, that's where our real success for this contest would be.
Coming up on the other side of a short break, we bring you a company that's been striving to create an equal opportunity environment for its employees. Stay tuned. A marketing and consulting company, Sapient, helps clients reinvent key business activities and enhance their performance. Operating in 3 divisions, Sapient Nitro, Sapient Global Markets and Sapient Government Services, the company focuses on creativity and technology to drive innovation. And one thing that Sapient prides itself on is the fact that it is an equal opportunity employer.
At Sapient, we are an equal opportunity employer, and we don't segregate between qualities for a male candidate and a female candidate, because we know whatever it takes to succeed at Sapient, it takes to succeed whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. But since you asked, I've been part of teams at Sapient which were majority women, and those teams outperformed or outshined simply because the women in the team were very committed, and they were committed to their goals, they were committed to delivering on time, they were committed to make it happen at whatever cost, and they offered a lot of innovative solutions. So I think those 3-4 things, if anyone demonstrated to us during the interviews, we hire that person because they know they will succeed at Sapient.
What do you expect from your employer?
In an attempt to close the gender gap and improve diversity, Sapient has a recruitment policy which encourages female talent to join the firm.
In our hiring goals, we have 30% reservation for women candidates. So we are doing a lot of things to get women, to absorb women in the company.
One of the interesting research I read recently was saying that because there are not enough women designers in the auto industry, the seat belts which are designed are actually not as safe for women. They have a 47% higher chance of getting hit when the accident happens compared to men. Now that is the perspective we need to bring in the workforce, and that's the reason it's so important for us to do that. And not only that, if I just think about from the level of diversity we want to get into, we're not there right now. So from that perspective, we definitely focus on this.
Retention is another focus area for Sapient. From flexible working hours to adequate number of leaves and suitable maternity and paternity leaves, Sapient leaves little room for employees to complain.
So interestingly, our retention of women is actually higher than the retention of men. So that's probably a reflection of what some of the policies are in the culture of the organization and what it works for our women. Let me give you a few examples. When we really looked at, okay, where is it that we're probably losing some of the women who we are losing, we found that essentially we're losing them when they're maybe going on maternity leave. Some of them were probably not being able to join back because they didn't have the support systems, or they needed more time to kind of come back to work. That was one big reason. The other really was actually relocation. So, life changes, marriage, spouses or partners really moving to new locations. So what that made us really take a step back and say, okay, there's an opportunity for us to relook at that. And we actually went about looking at some of our policies, such as our maternity policy, and we revisited that. We've actually looked at advancing it, and we're very soon rolling out a new maternity policy which will help women kind of come back to the workplace, take the time that's required to be out. So that's the maternity policy. We're also very supportive as far as leave. So, if people are going for a short term to accompany their spouses, we definitely are very supportive in them being able to take time off, spend that time and then come back. So there's a lot around leave, taking care of the sick, because I think what we've realized is, again, women have the responsibility and end up with the responsibility of taking time off to attend to, elderly parents. So, providing some additional leave as far as even some of those benefits go are some things that are out there for us.
Employees are offered a host of facilities to strike a balance between their personal and professional lives. All kinds of efforts are made to create a healthy working environment for the female staff.
The environment needs to be sensitized. And I think at Sapient, that's something that happens very well. You're not segregated because the environment thinks that, you're a male or you're a female. So the environment part is well taken care of. We also have a zero tolerance policy. So we give that safe environment working for a woman to come to work and be independent in how she's thinking, doing, and being safe in her environment.
When we did a survey on gender diversity, one thing that we really realized was, unconscious bias that most people have in the organization, something which people are not even aware of. For example, men, when you have an organization where men are more than women, and I can take an example where if it's a project team, which is full of men, and there's probably a couple of women or one woman there, the project gets discussed in the smoking zone, and people do not realize that, when you come back, the woman is feeling left out, right? So when we probed further, when you probe things like these further, you realize there are multiple other unconscious biases. For something as specific as this, what we did was we ran theatre workshops, we ran trainings on unconscious bias, where we made people realize that, you may not even think that you're doing, but you're doing this to women in your team, right? Which has helped not only just the women, but also the men to be much more conscious so that they do not become roadblocks to the success of women in the organization.
The Women's Leadership Network is another integral part of the company. This forum was created to support women and help them improve their programming, communication and leadership skills.
So as a part of WLN, one of the things we focus on really how do we provide women the skills which are required for them to be successful. So we do sort of sessions around networking, for example, executive presence, a lot of those aspects we go to do that. The other thing we've done is started doing is really what we call is leadership confessions, or what we call is like real people, real journey. So the interesting part is that we go and get a group of people around. Like we have got some of our technologists, for example, right, in a room, and we have had somebody who's actually gone through the journey. The person has spoken in a very authentic, open way about her challenges, her opportunities, what she struggled with, and how she went around the journey. The fantastic part was that when people started hearing that, they started connecting them to what is real for them. They suddenly realized that the challenges they are going through are not only them, there are other people who have gone through it and they've come across. As successful, they've been able to go and really figure it out. So this gives us a sort of the opportunity to really figure out what they can do differently.
With a track dedicated for women in technology, the Women's Leadership Network also identified and addressed key concern areas for women who want to quit their jobs.
Do you get time to work on these technology areas?
Enabling growth and learning for women was another step in the right direction.
So we are doing some focus group discussions with the women who have left the domain, and also with people who are at the senior manager level, to really understand what is going on in their minds in terms of sticking with the technology domain or leaving it. And if they want to leave, why should they be leaving? There are a lot of discussions that have happened and many things are coming out, but one thing that comes out very clearly is the specific mentorship program that Sapient needs to run specifically for women.
For technologists particularly, one of the things we've been doing is really getting mentoring. So we got a lot of our technology folks to go, senior people, whether it's men or women, mentor some of the senior technologists that we have so that we can help them grow in the career path. What we've also gone is we've realized that a lot of times we need to integrate the work-life balance. So we have really focused a lot on a lot of the online training, self-paced learnings, so that women can actually pick up the sessions when they want at their own convenience versus waiting for that.
And a contest dedicated for code divas in technology was just the platform that Sapient was looking to partner with. The TechGig Geek Goddess contest saw a large number of women employees participating.
What TechGig has given us is given us a fantastic platform to help us elevate some of our women technologists and give them really sort of the opportunity to go and really show what they're really capable of. It's been fantastic because we've been able to go and we got almost 100 entries, and out of which 22 got finalized, and one of them actually won it. So it was fantastic, really what kind of elevation it brought. I think one of the things which you see in today's world right now, it's all about doing, right? And that's what we're seeing basically, that it's, as somebody said, it's probably the best time to be a technologist. It's probably the best time to be a woman technologist, right? And this is where I think the whole coding challenge was fantastic. It just gave opportunity for a lot of these people who are fantastic, who have phenomenal capabilities, very talented, to come in and get a platform which is pan-national, right? So suddenly they've been able to go and elevate themselves and the entire organization, but not only the organization, the entire country.
It was a very good opportunity for the female coders to come in front and show their skills. So generally we don't have such competitions where only women are participating. So this was a very good platform.
And one of the lucky employees who was crowned a Geek Goddess was Rashmi Kejriwal. Having proved her mettle at the contest, she is determined to pursue her passion for coding and achieve even bigger goals.
I felt great when people said for any logistics, for any laptop, because there was web camera required, for anything, people manager, my director Sheikh approached me. So that was a great experience for me. So finally then I cleared the finale, all because of their motivation, and that source of motivation didn't even stop till now. People are, they are expecting that, calling me as Geek Goddess, so that is a great achievement for me. I love coding, so I will be in this IT world and will surely, achieve more. I will get more achievements and will do all these kind of stuff so that I can enhance my skill set later on.
Everyone was really, really happy that we did something for women. I think that option came to us because of TechGig Geek Goddess, so kudos to them once again.
It's time to close the gender gap. It's time to recognize and celebrate women's talent.
I think all of you know that you're as good as the guy sitting next to you, or even better. We are setting up this platform, and we're working hard in the ecosystem for you to move forward. I think it's time you guys also stepped in, took charge and got the place you deserve in the industry. I think that's what we would want all of you to do, and hope we play a good part in it.
With women conquering the world with their hearts and minds, it's time for companies to take charge and set an example for the world to follow.